Wow, now we're pretty bright.
Which is weird because all the lights are. Oh, that one's not supposed to be on.
Okay, because that's like, holy shite. Oh, we're live too.
Yeah. It's funny though. Jacob was over here the other day, and he was like very reassuring. He's like, I really enjoy how you guys are just kind of off the cuff. And, yeah.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to What the F.A.Q episode. Who the hell knows? We are here doing the thing. As always, I'm here with.
I'm adjusting things, but I'm over here.
Dylan, who's adjusting things, and this week we're going to be looking at the Greer, some new Greer pedals. One new Greer pedal and one old Greer pedal. This is all part of the Texas Toast and Dylan Talks. What are you doing?
I was trying to find the cat bubble.
What's it? It's like, okay, 1, 2. I'm working on my squats, man.
I am actually working on that too. But.
So we're here part of the Guitar Thursday extravaganza. I just said it like guitar too. Guitar extravaganza. Come on in, son.
There we go.
So we start out, do an hour. We fiddle fart around with some shit. Then we go over to, we don't. But you guys go over, check out our friends over at Texas Toast, and then after that, go talk to Dylan Talks Tone and do some talking.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. So
yeah,
that's it, right?
Yes.
That's
it's still shockingly bright for no lights.
It is. There's no lights.
It's kind of interesting. Yeah.
It's not.
Well, and it's not even. Oh, I guess it is.
It's not.
It's not even that sunny though today.
It looks bright in here. Well, it looks better in that. I think this TV sucks.
Well, it does a bit. But.
So we're not getting the accurate
color.
Yeah, we're not getting the right hue.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I'm not that. I mean, I'm.
Yeah, you look.
I'm not that pale. I shouldn't be that pale. Yeah.
Oh, the caucasity of this filter.
It's like that.
Like neither one of us are that
Norwegian Scottish stuff's kind of really starting to surface.
Like neither one of us are that bright.
Yes.
Well, not you know what I mean.
Yes.
And,
different kind of brightness.
Yeah. Skin tone bright.
Yes.
Anyway, hey, look at that. Metalhead Hippie is in here. Doc is in here. Doug Santaniello is in here. What's happening, Doug? Charles 75N.
Oh, hey, Charles.
Ryan Hall, very cool. Slacker Deluxe. Wow, we got a whole crew.
Oh, cool.
Metalhead Hippie. I think I already said that.
Eric now has his shirt, so that's good.
Yeah, Eric's got his shirt with some extra swag in there, so I'm glad you like that. You know, we try to make up for it when we delay things.
Yes. Well,
Doc says the jokes just write themselves. They do.
Sometimes they do, yeah.
Sometimes they do. You know, sometimes they maybe, I just throw the stuff out there, but I already know what I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know.
Leaving a little treat for later.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You just gotta, little self-deprecating humor doesn't hurt anybody.
Yes.
Right?
And then Ryan was technically the first in there, but it was like it was before we'd started. So
we started doing the thing. What's happening, Ryan? Good to see you. Glad you're able to make it today. Ryan did a cool thing with Kaiser Capos.
Oh yeah,
because he's friends with the guys over in Kaiser. If you guys don't know, check out Our Day Music down in Texas, Canton, Texas. Your mom and pop music shop and celebrity endorser.
Is he their new hand model, like for the capos?
No, he's like their beard capo model.
Beard capo.
Sorta. No, he did a whole thing.
He could probably, he's got enough beard. He could capo it.
He could capo.
Like if he needed to, like he has to tune his beard to, if he's not feeling full ZZ Top one day.
432.
Yeah, he can just,
He's got to comb his beard to 432 every morning.
That is it.
But go check out Ryan at RNA Music if you don't already follow him. And he did a thing with Kaiser Capos. Very nice, fancy. Look good, too.
Aren't they? I was just say they're because I think Jake was telling me about those. They're like pretty premium in terms of capos, but they're supposed to be really worth it.
Yeah, as far as capos go, they are premium. You're paying for it.
Yeah.
But he had a nice photo shoot with them. Did a whole thing, video and stuff. Looked really good.
Nice.
It's kind of like you watch it and you go, "Oh, that's how professional."
Well, yeah.
Not whatever this is.
Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah.
Two assholes in a dark room hoping for the best.
Yeah, and an oddly light dark room.
It's still weird. I'm like, I still feel like we should put the camera up higher so that we're
Well.
looking, so that we're looking directly at it. Because I always feel like I'm looking up too high because I'm looking at that thing. I don't know.
Oh, well, yeah, I tend to, if I'm not looking at the chat, I'll just go ahead and look right at the camera. But we could, eventually we'll get it kind of more in line.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, it's been a good week. We were, as you guys can already see, because I already left the camera on, and Ike already said it, we are doing Greer this week. We were going to do the Lion preamp from Universal Audio, but we ended up selling through those too fast.
In a flash.
Yeah, so
they were gone because they sound.
They are pretty ridiculously good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we got only a moment.
Yeah, right now within that series, I would say like the Lion and the Dream are top tier. The Ruby's solid, but I would say the Dream, the 65, and the Lion are the top tier ones out of that grouping.
See, and I think for you, the Ruby's not in the top because it's a Vox.
Well, yes, Voxland is somewhere I like to visit. I just don't want to stay there very long.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't mind though, because it's weird. Because like the other day, I've been going back through Queen again, just because like early Queen stuff, Brian May's tones are just like, I don't know. I guess maybe as my ears mature, because I always loved Queen. But like now that my ear has probably matured quite a bit since then, like there's so much interesting shit he uses between like his harmonies, the way he uses delays, the way he uses flanger, and like sometimes it's pretty subtle, other times it's pretty, exaggerated. But it's like Brian May, the older I get, is like a tone that just gets better.
Yeah, I've always liked it. But
I have too, but I'm just being like the older I get, the better it gets.
But sometimes when you revisit some stuff you haven't listened to for a while,
yes,
you forget. There's something about it that you forgot how incredibly awesome it is. I mean, I do that sometimes, like with like Zeppelin.
Mm-hmm.
For me, like I won't listen to Zeppelin for a long time, and then I go back and I just put on earbuds or something, or just sit in a spot that I can hear all the bits.
Yeah, especially because they were really playing around with the way
good.
they mixed it and the way they did. Yeah.
And then I go, man, that was just so good.
Well, it's interesting because
even Hendrix stuff. Too, there's stuff that I don't listen to that I love, and then I go back in and listen to it again, and it's like, wow, man, that was good.
Yes,
that is so much. I forgot how good it was, kind of thing.
Well, and especially for the time, because they were really. Well, and that's what I mean, even with like the really early Queen stuff, because I think everybody always thinks of like Queen more like the the arena rock years. That's like, and I like the early Queen stuff is really like, because like. I mean, most of their stuff from like the 70s, I feel like for the time is pretty good. Well, it's interesting too, because like when I was a kid, I never would, like people always used to tell me that like Queen was kind of foundational for metal. Mm-hmm. And I never fully understood that until like now. And now when you listen to it, there's some of his stuff, some of the way, like some of his techniques that are also like foundational kind of, like it's pre-metal metal. It's almost like pre-prog. They're almost like pre-prog metal, really, is what they kind of.
I can see that.
Because like they're I don't know, they're super experimental. The way they're using sound, the way they're mixing everything, just all of it. I don't know. It is fun though to revisit that stuff especially if it's stuff that you liked when you were younger, and then you haven't, like you said, you haven't necessarily revisited it for a while. It can be pretty fun. Yeah. Because your ear gets, your ear changes, and you hear things sometimes not for the first time, but you hear it in a different way.
Well, you might actually hear the depth of something.
Yes. So,
because there's a lot of stuff that I listen to, like I love this yacht rock in the 70s stuff. But there's some stuff in there that if you're listening to it, and especially if you're listening to it with headphones on, it's man, that tone is cool. How did they get, it's like a synthesis. Yeah. There might be a synth thing that's being done, or a delay, or
I kind of know what you mean.
Some, like a warble that you don't get in.
Well, because even though
it's it's depending on decades, had certain things that they leaned into, obviously.
Yes.
But sometimes listening to some of that old stuff and go, wow, that was really cool how they did that.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like I know you don't like some of the British like alternative stuff that was kind of in the 80s, but I have to say, like listening, because like even like Tears for Fears, like objectively, their production and their mixing is amazing. Like it's one of those things, because again, trying kind of getting into more of the synth stuff, I am listening for more of that stuff now. Mm-hmm. But like their production is unreal when you listen to like Tears for Fears, especially I always forget the name of the big album, but it's like the album that they had where almost every song was like a hit for that era, and it's one of those ones where you listen to it and it's like that album is one of those ones that kind of deserves to be timeless because it sounds timeless. Like it doesn't sound like it was made with what they made it with.
At the time.
Yeah.
I might have to go back and look. We should do a series of that. Like,
you
should listen to this.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because I'm
actually.
like, dick.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Because like that's normally, but I've been kind of because my mom has a very not polarizing, but she has a very wide array of stuff that she likes, kind of like you. But like a lot of that stuff was kind of commingled at the time for her, and so for me, I hadn't really listened to a lot of it since I was really little. Just hearing it, kind of when she would play some of it. But like I said, Tears for Fears is one where I'm like, they do have incredible production, or they have an incredible ear for like putting things together. So
yeah, see, that's where I don't revisit like the '80s stuff because I don't know. It's really
well,
like,
a lot of it sounds.
It was more guitar driven for me, and then there was the pop stuff that was out there that was like, oh, this is okay. I'm never going to admit it, but it's okay. But I just never got into the very, just the.
Well, no, yeah. For me, it is more of like
and with delays, and then it was too much. It was too not my lane.
Yeah. Well, no, I get it.
So it was so far out of anything that I.
Well, because when I was a kid, I didn't really.
Because I grew up with like the Floyd, Pink Floyd, the Who, Zeppelin, liking those bands because. What happened for me was it wasn't that I was super into that in the 70s when I was a child. It was that the older brothers of the dudes that I hung out with, that was the music they listened to, so it was almost passed down to us.
Yes,
Deep Purple, those. I mean, I was 1977. I was 8 years old, so it wasn't like I was like, yeah. I didn't know shit, but. The older brothers that were 3 years or 4 years older than us guys, they were kind of into that stuff, and it all got passed down to us.
Yeah.
And so that's where, kind of coming through that. But I mean, I know a lot of people that were my age that they didn't have that, so they were just into the pop stuff. Like my sister was very much into the pop scene, pop music stuff.
Okay,
and I couldn't get it.
Well, because. Yeah,
they could have been part of that.
For me, the segue into some of that stuff is some of the metal adjacent stuff that was going on in the 80s, like simultaneous. Because like Type O Negative, Sisters of Mercy, like those types of bands, like they weren't, they're not. Well, Type O Negative was metal too, but they're not like your typical metal. But they have a lot of that 80s like tech that was starting to kind of go into it, or at least the sound. So for me, I guess it is more of like revisiting a lot of that stuff for the sound. But like I said, Tears for Fears in particular was one recently where I was like, regardless of what you like in terms of the music, it's just regardless, it's a great sounding album. In terms of sound.
I'll have to revisit.
Yeah, in terms of like whoever did the production. I
won't even have to revisit. I'll just have to visit.
No, I know what you mean.
I mean, I probably know the songs, but I've never listened to the whole album, start to finish. I guarantee it because it's just.
Well, no, that's kind of the same way I was until
there was just a bunch of those bands, and it wasn't that I didn't listen because we only could listen to what was available. We didn't have iPods and dial in whatever shit you wanted. It was what's on the radio.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting at home with the tape player just waiting for the song.
Oh, trying to get
the first 2 seconds of the song, and you're like, boom, record it so you could have it on a tape.
Well, I remember being little, and I didn't know that because obviously when I was little, my mom and my brother still had all their cassettes, and I didn't know at the time because I would go through some of theirs, and they had a stack of different ones that were where they had both done that too. And so I remember thinking like, why is there all this stuff of just radio? Because when I was little, I remember finding them and going through them, and I'm like, why is this just like the end of a commercial and then a song?
Because you'd have some ass telling you, hop and bop and pop, baby, the best, the boss beat, and the top of the pop, smash, gold, let's get it right. And you're like, what? What am I listening to? But that's what we had, or you had to go buy the album.
Right.
And the thing was, we didn't have any money, so we weren't I went to Vinny's house to go listen.
Well, it had to be pretty special if you were going to actually go buy an album.
First time I ever heard Van Halen, I was at Vinny's house. The first time I heard, a bunch of metal or harder rock stuff was at Vinny's house because his brother was older than us, Dave, he was older than us, and then his friends all used to listen to Pink Floyd and stuff. And at the time when we were younger, we didn't know they were all getting high. But you know, what I mean? Like they were listening to Floyd, and then it was classic, and then listening to classic rock, because you got to remember it was only 15 years or maybe 20 years past some of that stuff. So
and a lot of those bands were still active then. I mean, some of them
were still doing this stuff. I mean, Leo said something about Grand Funk Railroad. Remember hearing them and like, that's cool. You know, so a lot of that classic rock, 70s rock, was important.
Yeah.
Or at least for me.
Well, yeah, the Grand Funk, it's the very first album, the red cover, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because I was just saying that, I'm pretty sure it's their first album, the red cover. One of the best, because I know we were talking about stuff that sounds amazing and sort of time. The bass tone on that album is incredible. That's one like Jake and I revisit quite a bit, and they're not like a band we normally get into, but that album in particular for bass tones, it's like I don't think you can get a whole lot better than that. I think. But
see, now I'm gonna have to go back and check out a few of these things because I go off on my own. You know, my own way for a while, and I sometimes I don't get back for a while. Does that make sense? Like I don't go and revisit some of the older stuff, and then what's funny is that's why I like Spotify and putting on stuff that's kind of a mix from an era, because something will come on and I go, I totally forgot about that band, or I totally forgot, and I go, I forgot how much I love this. And then I'll go down that rabbit hole again.
Well, that makes sense, yeah. So I've kind of been doing it, but it's been more, because I've been trying to like, I'm always obviously messing with effects and shit, but I'm trying to understand how certain things, how they progress, because I wasn't alive for a lot of it. So I am trying to understand how some of the stuff progressed. But like even getting into some of the effects, and then you start like looking into like, well, this band doesn't play anything like this band, but you can clearly tell that was like the sound or the sonic inspiration for this other thing that made its way, into this band from the. So I'm kind of like following the breadcrumbs of, because even like Flange the other day, because I was realizing I'm like, for the longest time I always judged flangers purely on like the ones that are in multi-effects processors or like the BF3, because like the BF2 is amazing. The BF3 I don't really like it that much. But it's always had that, I always dismissed it as just kind of that airplane noise. And like going back and listening to actual tape flange from the 50s all the way up to like 1975, I'm like, tape flange is amazing. And then when you look into like how that was actually even made and discovered. So that's kind of how I don't know, I guess I'm listening to other things I wouldn't normally listen to, but I'm listening to it for specific things now.
For a reason.
Which is fun though, because it's like a lot of it is stuff that as just a music listener or as a teenager I would have totally dismissed. But like now as an adult that is into more of this stuff, I'm like, oh, well, I'm listening with a lot more in mind than I ever used to.
No, that makes sense. It completely makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that there's bands that I'm like, I really like now that when I was younger, absolutely not.
Yeah, yeah.
Off the table.
Yeah, yeah.
Like off the damn table.
Exactly.
And so now there's things that I get amazed about because I just discounted it when I was younger, and I go, wow, that sounds so cool. Wow, that's really good. Like even like classic country stuff, hated it for years, and then I kind of got it, and then there's so much that's in that. Yes. That is, like the lap steel stuff is just.
Oh yeah.
That is
that's something I've been kind of listening to. Yeah,
thing. Yeah. I'm like, it just sonically, it's freaking awesome.
No, it's incredible. And to think of the skill that was involved for a lot of those things for that era. Well, and again, kind of like what you're getting into that. I'm like, you can follow that stuff from like the early country stuff, follow it right into like the Hawaiian stuff, and then follow that right into the surf music, and then follow that right into spaghetti westerns. And it's like you kind of see where each sound just slowly moved from one thing. It's like, everybody pivoted these years, so they started moving it into other things, and then you start hearing those sounds pop up. Because I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, whoever the first guy is that thought of like a lap steel or a pedal steel, and he's like, that's the sound of Hawaii. Like, who was that guy? Because he was like, he nailed it. Like, whoever thought of like, that's the sound of Hawaii, and he hit it, and he nailed, like, because like to me that's one of those things, like everybody instinctively associates that song, there's those sounds with like Hawaii, and it's like, who thought of that and made that? I don't know. Those things I find interesting. Like, who thinks of that shit the first time?
Oh, I don't think they do. I think they just do it.
And then it becomes associated, and everybody's like, oh, that's it. And it
becomes a thing.
Yeah.
we got Brad Guitar Miller's in here now. Janice Lala's is in here. Can't talk. Janice Lala is in here. Very cool. Yeah, you know what we should do is we should maybe reaction videos.
A reactor listens to.
Reaction videos are so popular. We're like, what if we did a series of letting you guys pick songs that you love? I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of them that we already know, but I bet you there's an amazing amount of stuff that we either forgot about, or we could, at least comment about, or just revisit and go, hey, that's, like,
well, honestly, that would be pretty great
because
we do have a pretty big age range in terms of everybody who's watching. So it's like, for me, that would be, because again, there's a lot of stuff like I'm having to, I wouldn't call it trudging, but you are sort of trudging through a lot of stuff when you're going backwards in time. And I've kind of always done like I feel like my whole listening, that's not really a career, but my whole time on earth listening to music as a listener is like, I'm obviously always listening to a lot of current stuff, but it's usually a lot smaller bands. So for me, a lot of it's been backlogged stuff that I have to kind of go through, or like somebody will mention something out at the counter, and it's like, oh, if I don't know it, then I got to know it after. And so like it would be kind of the same thing, which really would be fun, kind of, especially because I always wanted to break that down in terms of like certain things where we are trying to identify certain effects or how they did certain things, and like I still think that would be a pretty fun.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. Yeah. Let us know if that seems like a thing you guys would be into, because that would be fun. We just take a half hour and listen. I mean, we just do it like the rest of it, because it's funny. Some of those reaction videos, I don't watch a lot of them, but sometimes I do. I'm like, okay, let's see what this this person thinks of this song that I like or whatever.
Well, actually,
it's funny because sometimes they're like, you listen to it and I'm like, oh, you totally didn't get what that song means.
Yes,
that's or they're listening and going, oh, I think it's this, I think it's that, and it's like, no. You missed part of it.
There's
but I think we all do that.
Yeah. Man, I forgot his name right off. If I remember it, I'll put it up. There was one guy that I'd been watching for a while that he's more like a studio engineer. I think he was from the UK. And he but what's great with him is like he'll listen to some older stuff, but then he'll point out like he was listening to it was Queensryche. So he was going through like the Queensryche catalog, and in particular, and I had no idea that like manually when you used to do like things that we take for granted now with like reverse effects. You can buy it, like there's reverse effects, and like almost any multi-delay usually has a reverse effect in it now. But it was just interesting because he was like explaining how they used to have to do it, how you used to have to have the reference deck, and then there was this one particular thing where they took all of the cymbal hits, they would let it fade in correctly, and then they would back fade it in reverse. Oh. And so, but I guess some guy literally had to go in and snip for each one of those echoes. He had to snip the tape, place it to get each one. And I was like, holy shit, that is amazing. Because I had no idea, like, it's an effect that literally, because I think he even said that the guy probably spent a good 12 to 15 hours to literally cut out less than 10 seconds of audio to get that to line up. And I was like, that's amazing when you think about, like, the lost techniques, but also the things that we just take for granted now when it comes to music.
Yeah, because it's easily done, or it's done within a box.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we should probably get to this because
we're doing good.
We're about at our normal.
It was a good discussion. We didn't.
Yeah, I think if you guys are interested in us doing that,
yes,
let us know. I mean, we could figure out when.
We could try to fit that in. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So look at the bottom corner. That's a way for us to reference. See where it says live?
Oh, yeah. How long we've been. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, now that I've been putting that over here, that actually is a good.
Yeah, because we can't see the time.
Yeah. All right. Well,
this today. Which
you might explain it, because I think we mentioned it last week, but you didn't actually show it off.
See if we can.
It's reflective.
Reflective there. I think that does everything. So this is the Greco.
Yes, the aforementioned Doomcaster.
So put this thing in C sharp. It's pretty cool. I replaced this pickup with, well, I didn't replace it. I had Sam do it because, Sam will knock it out in a second, and I'll be fiddle farting around for a while. Not too long, but still.
Right.
So this is just an inexpensive hot rail, and then this is the original Maxon neck pickup. So it's in C sharp, and we're gonna do a little doomy, lower tuning stuff, and then I'll switch over. We got this, which is a consignment, an old Orville.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. This thing sounds killer.
It really does. It
and
plays
it's got
well too. Yeah.
tape on it that tells you how much weight
it weighs.
8.2 pounds.
Which is not bad for how thick that looks.
Yeah. Well, also, there's a bunch of people that won't play it because, oh my God, it's 8 pounds.
Right.
I don't know.
Dastardly Dave likes your pick guard.
Yeah.
Or at least he says crazy pick guard, but.
Yeah, it's just it's a white.
Black pearloid, right?
Black pearloid, yeah. So it's pretty cool. And this thing is light. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's funny. So the story behind this is, it walked in the store one day, and the boys were like, "Yeah, we're gonna buy that for Ike." They didn't really buy. They bought it with the store money.
Yes.
But
I got it down to a really good price.
Yeah. So he got it down to a really good price, and was like, "We're gonna buy that, but we're just gonna set it aside because Ike's gonna want it."
Yeah.
I guarantee. And so Dylan just knows, and that was the case. I've opened it up. I'm like, hell yeah. So this has been sitting around for a while, and that's why we got it set up now.
Well, what's funny is we ended up finding out too. We have a regular customer of ours that this actually used to belong to. Right. So he had sold it a while, and then the guy that he sold it to obviously sold it to us. But it was just kind of funny because he's like, "Is that my old?" Yeah,
because I was telling him about it. I'm like, "Yeah, man, I made this old Greco, Tele custom into a Doomcast." He's like, "Is it black?" I go, "Yeah." He's like, "I wonder if it's mine." I'm like, "Let's go look."
Yeah.
And come to find out,
yep, sure enough.
Sure as shit.
Yeah.
It's nice because it's all dingy, and this is early 70s, 73, 74 maybe.
Yeah.
It's super light too.
It is.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Matsumoto, most likely.
Cool. So, for anybody who joined after the first part of the intro, we are basically playing the Greer amps, the SOMA preamp, and the special request preamp. So the SOMA, and actually I need to look up the special request again because I forgot to do that before because we were kind of sliding in. But the SOMA is not new, but it's interesting, and I think it's often overlooked. I had forgotten until recently that it's going for like the brown face era fenders. Which I think is cool because there's not a lot of, other than like the Blackbird, or not, is it Blackbird?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From
From VS Audio, yeah. Other than that, there's not like an abundant number of brown face specifically era preamps. There's just, everybody always tends to do like silver face, black face, or even tweed. Everybody kind of jumps over that era. So I think it's pretty cool. So we're going to do that one, and then we're doing the special request preamp, which is D-style, obviously, for anybody, well, most of you guys know, but for everybody who doesn't, is referencing the Dumble amplifier. I just don't remember if this one's going for specifically the steel string singer, or I would imagine it is since it doesn't have a lot of controls. I'm imagining that's what it's kind of going for.
Could be the knob. The knob gives it away.
Well, it's just one of those ones because, it could be an overdrive special, but I feel like it would have more controls. I might be wrong. But in particular, if it is going for the steel string singer, it makes sense because for anybody who's not familiar too, Stevie Ray Vaughan essentially, I don't know if he was the first one to do it necessarily, but he was kind of known for doing it. He would use the preamp section of the steel string singer to essentially boost other amps. So sometimes he would run the preamp section of that Dumble into like a Fender amp, and that's how he would overdrive that amp. So I think the idea with it is to kind of replicate that bit of tube drive that you get. The only thing that's weird with the steel string singer, from what because I've never gotten to play a real one, but from what I understand, they tend to almost be like shockingly clean, so that when you hit other amps, if that amp starts to break up, you're getting, more or less just a massive clean boost. So like I said, we'll kind of see if this one reacts similar or not, but that's kind of the intro or context for this stuff. Let me make sure.
Music Therapy Laz is in here too, so hey man.
Cool. Oh, here. I don't think that's a twisty.
It's not, I just ripped my fingers up.
I'm done ripped myself. Oh, I put it on the board. Alright.
Where is it? Yeah, a friend of ours made that. Nice.
Yes.
Can't see it because it's too bright.
There it is. There we go.
We got to figure out our lighting. We need a light guy.
Well, I think Well, we'll see. Because, like, yeah, if anything, I don't know how we would reduce the light in here further other than the... But Jacob actually said those are to our favor.
Which one?
The skylights. There's a few things I'll tell you about because he actually had some good comments about the space. So.
All right, good, because we need it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and he actually said it was good that we did put it over here because, kind of like I thought, the drums do need more headroom.
Right.
So yeah, but anyway, let's roll into the test. I think.
Hey, Johnny Bean.
Oh, nice.
Johnny Bean's in the house. Nice. And music therapy class.
Oh, cool. Vietnam.
So will we. We'll be there. We were just talking about that today. We got to figure out our living situation for the week.
All right. Did you want to start with the SOMA or the special request?
Let's start with the SOMA.
Okay.
Well, I'm wondering, should I switch out? Because that's going to be more friendly probably for this guy.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Then we can see. I mean, either one's going to at some point, but.
Yeah, let's go with that because it's.
Okay.
Because I was thinking if we had something that's a little fuzzier. Here, you hold this.
Okay.
This thing can actually just lay down over here. Cause don't step on that, Ziggle.
It's funny with the color of the pickups. It almost looks like, well, at least with that, it almost looks like a one pickup.
It's the glaring light.
Yeah, the glaring light that's not there.
Right. I'm wondering if we should turn those lights on. If that.
Well, I did that once before, and again, I think it kind of made us not orange, but yellow, and the other ones make us kind of orange, but.
That's that Grateful Dead song.
Only thing I'm gonna have running in addition to the pedals that we're playing is just a Earthquaker Devices.
I think we're good.
Okay, Earthquaker Devices Ghost Echo. I just have that on there just for a little reverb, just so it's not completely dry. Okay, so if, clean tone. That's pretty spanky.
Yeah.
That's pretty neutral. So. So yeah, we'll go ahead with the SOMA. Although that does sound like a push thunder, yeah. So that's like medium gain, or medium-ish gain, and then full gain. Kind of squishes out a bit there. It's kind of what the 3 to 5 was doing. It's just a little different.
It's almost a little farty.
Yeah.
Too farty for me.
Yeah, but it does hit that vintage, like when you're doing those weird kind of things, it hits a good sound for that. Just to see, I'm actually going to boost it just to see if it gets even, even thicker, I guess. Don't get too much squish here. That's kind of tightened it up a bit. Well, it could be getting warmed up from.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it just sounds a little off to me. Yeah.
And actually, I guess I'll toggle or not toggle, but I'll kind of sweep the bass on that just to see if that ends up changing the texture much.
Thing got all out of whack. Like, this doesn't sound right.
Keep forgetting.
It's
our first one since the time change.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
this fucking sucks.
Now it looks like we're just in a fucking basement. So we might have to turn the middle lights on just because it's a little. We're winging it. We're doing what we normally do. It's like, we're just going along as we do. But yeah, it's getting.
Which is so weird. Yeah, it's like
it's getting darker in here, and it looks like we're just in a basement somewhere.
Yeah. Telling like stories by a flashlight. Yeah.
People are gonna watch, going, "What are these dickheads doing?" Like every time, it's a different thing.
They can never hit the Goldilocks zone. It's like,
yeah.
That helps a little bit, but it's still. Yeah, removing the bass helps a bit.
It definitely does have that.
Alright, then we'll go back to clean tones before we do the special request, just so we know what the special request is actually adding.
Make sure I'm just all on the thing. I got myself all. Yeah, we're good. Alright, so the other one's Dumbly.
Yes. It's interesting, it kind of lifted the highs without making them harsh, but it's also, I don't know, it's nice. It's not dramatic, but it's nice. like I said, it's very subtle, but it's really pleasing. Actually, I guess I'll see how the two stack. Actually, the two together are pretty good. Yeah, see, it just lifts everything. That's pretty good. I like that.
Just go back to the other one.
Just the SOMA or just the
Yeah,
special?
just the special.
So without it, and with it, which if anything, the audience is going to hear more of the volume increase than anything. But in the room, trust me, it's very warm, and it's definitely kind of taking the blanket off.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's just
Really good.
yeah. See, it's cool because the two together, it sounds like a very nice vintage setup. That sounds
No,
good. The
that
two
sounds-
together are good, yeah.
I mean, the spatial or the special request is kind of, EP boost ish.
Yeah, it kind of has that same kind of thing that's adding, yeah. But it's really nice. It's definitely, at least in the room, because you guys are probably just hearing a volume jump. But in the room, it definitely has a very, a nice warm quality to it that's definitely like boosting the high end without making it harsh. So it's
Yeah,
kind of
I really
removing,
like that.
yeah, it's kind of removing that blanket. But I like that. That sounds
That
really
puts
good.
it in the class of like the Lenny. As well,
Yeah,
too.
yeah, kind of like a simpler. Yeah, one of the Lenny is kind of in that steel
In
string.
that-
Yeah,
it's in that same vein. That's why
Yeah.
I'm like, it kind of.
yeah.
Look at us, we're in the fucking dark.
That's fine. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, yeah. Well, I don't know. I can't adjust for.
Well, it's gotten dark
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah. Well, we turned off all the lights because we look weird with them,
Yeah.
and then
Now
like, I
it's-
don't know
now
without
we're
them now it
having-
just looks really weird.
Now we're having a seance.
Yeah.
See? Whatever
Yeah.
weird
Whatever.
shit
We
that
just moved
was.
some shit. Yeah. Honestly, for what you do, that's a really good sound. Like for the style that you play, like it's a good. Yeah. That's yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds good. I like it.
I
with
wonder
just
if
the
it-
clean though too.
Well, yeah,
Like
for
just
sure.
straight clean. I mean,
Yeah. I wonder if it has that lifting effect on like other pedals. So, before we get too loud, so I'm gonna throw the Tony Iommi boost in there just to see if it lifts it as well. Yeah. Wow. It does, yeah. So like without it.
see, now that's kind of.
Yeah. So that's
You know
pretty
what that
good. Like
almost
after
sounds
another
like?
pedal, it actually it's kind of taking that blanket off of that too. Demogorgon real quick just to see. So that's without it. With it. Wow. So this would be a really good like, end of the drive boost. That works really well. Yeah, it's definitely volume, but it's also lifting kind of the blanket. Yeah, it sounds really good.
I think it sounds good. I mean, as a clean, just
Just a nice,
just as
clean
a
look.
nice clean sound.
It's definitely one of those pedals that makes just about everything else sound a little bit better, which is good. I like those pedals because, like, there is definitely a class of booster that tends to do that, and this would definitely fit in that group. Yeah, that sounds really nice.
I think
Yeah.
so.
How
I mean,
are
it
we
does the
doing?
thing for
Oh, we still got about 7 minutes.
does the thing for all the bluesy stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, like I said, these two together in particular was.
Well, that puts a little bit of grit on it.
Yeah. It's like it just gives it enough. Well, it does, I mean, not that that was only a Stevie Ray Vaughan thing, but it does do that loud and clean, kind of, push cleans.
The phase always.
Well, that actually worked for what you were playing. So it just gives it a little movement.
That's up. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we are maybe down to our
Down to the
last
last
4 minutes.
Thanks for attending. Thanks for attending the spook.
This most
seance.
recent seance.
Yes,
Yeah.
the pedal seance.
The tone seance.
Boy, we gotta get a pro in here to figure out our light situation.
Well, it was fine last week, but then some asshole had to make us go back an hour. So
Right.
yeah,
Does that look like something's floating in the middle there?
it's just the reflection.
I know, but it looks like it's.
It does
floating,
kind of
doesn't
look,
it?
yeah, like if you move, it looks like. Well, it's because it's lensed, so you're seeing like the first reflection and then the second one.
That's freaking weird.
Yeah, it's a lens,
Very
which is weird.
Although this room would be great though when we have movie night in here.
Yes.
It's gonna be good. Anyway, now we're just doing whatever.
yeah.
Nobody's talking in the chat. Did we lose everybody in the chat?
I don't know. We may have.
There's nobody else. Nothing else happened. Okay. Well, I hope you liked the seance edition
Yes.
of the What the F.A.Q.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you guys coming in. Please hit the smash the like button. That helps us out a lot. Next week we'll fix the lights.
Yeah. Now that we remembered it was a time change.
Yeah. So we'll do all that stuff. Next week we'll look at some new thing that we have. Also check us out tomorrow. Dark Side Music. Oh, that's actually.
That actually sounds pretty cool. Yeah.
Check us out tomorrow because we're going to do another used gear showcase. So we'll be showcasing some new used gear that we have. Promo code for maybe a discount or free shipping or whatever that may be. And so check that out tomorrow. What time are we going to do those? You think 1 o'clock is a good time?
Yeah, we should. Well, yeah, it should be. Especially, yeah, we should be able to get in. We still got to choose the items, I suppose, but
Yeah, I can do that previous. We could do a little show prep.
yeah,
Minimal. That's how we do.
Yeah.
All right. So tomorrow, 1 o'clock, going live. Used gear showcase. Maybe that's when we'll look at this.
yeah.
This Orville. Hopefully we got it listed and ready to go. It's just a cool guitar.
If not, I'll make a quick one just so we can, if somebody does want to grab it.
Yeah, the used gear showcase is fun. So,
Zigs.
what are you doing, buddy? You trying to steal the show? He's like,
It's like, don't mind me. I'm just.
okay. Yeah, just licking my chops here. All right. Well, we appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you so go over and check out the dudes over at Texas Toast. Next, they'll be doing Texas Toast things, and then go check out Dylan Talks Tone. And so, from the spooky graveyard here to Flipside Music, we appreciate you guys coming out, and we'll catch you guys
On the flip side.
on the dark side.
Yes.
Spooky, spooky.